Today we're going to go over what I consider to be one of the most important lessons that I teach to my students, and that's how to both give and accept constructive criticism. And constructive criticism, honestly, was one of the most important things for me as someone who aspired to be an author, as well as in my professional life too. And with constructive criticism, the key word in there is construct inside of the word constructive, because construct means to build up. So I think a lot of students get worried about the word criticism when, but in actuality, with constructive criticism, the whole idea of it should be criticism that builds someone up. Now, that doesn't mean you can just walk around giving constructive criticism, because if the person didn't ask and or doesn't want constructive criticism, then it does just feel like criticism because they might not be in a place where they are looking for advice, and so nothing about that constructive criticism is going to feel constructive. So it's very important to make sure that you're seeing eye to eye with whoever you're working with before we get started. So going into this lesson, I got to credit Lisa Hill, who is a deputy principal in Australia, who really mentored me and built these lessons out. And since then, I've used them every single year for the last 5 years, ever since I worked with Lisa. And with this pepper feedback form, it goes over the rules. Like, it needs to be kind feedback, it needs to be specific, helpful, and you need to show someone that you care. I mean, that's what's important, is that you're wanting to help them improve. Now, the first thing you're going to do is ask your partner what kind of mood they're in, and they can choose either a bell pepper, which is kind of mild. That might mean you're not super specific with your constructive criticism, or they might say ghost pepper, which means they're looking for very direct constructive criticism. Now, something that's really important is, even if your partner says that they're in the mood for ghost pepper constructive criticism, that doesn't give you permission to just insult them. When I was teaching Minecraft education with my sixth graders, one of my favorite moments was after two students were working together. One student said that they were ready for ghost pepper feedback, and one student was like, "So, no offense," which we all know after no offense, usually there's like a tactical missile that gets thrown in after no offense, but like, no offense, but my 6-year-old brother could have built something better than that, and so that's just an insult. That's just criticism. There's nothing constructive. There's nothing you can build up from that statement. But when students are looking for examples of what's the difference between ghost pepper feedback and bell pepper. Usually my students have a lot of signage in their Minecraft worlds, and with bell pepper, if you notice that the person you're working with had a lot of misspellings, you might just want to say, hey, you really want to check the spelling, maybe paste it into a Word document just to make sure you have your spelling correct on your signage. But with ghost pepper feedback, I've had students who have selected and highlighted every single misspelled word. And yeah, that might feel very direct, but if a student asks for ghost pepper feedback, then that's the type of thing you can do. Because remember, both of those things, saying that, hey, you might want to check your spelling here, and selecting every single misspelled word, is constructive because you're helping a student solve those misspellings or correct their misspellings. And so on this form, you're going to write the person you're reviewing. Where it says writer, make sure to put your name. The first thing is that you want to really talk about where your partner excelled, where your partner did a really good job, where it says, yeah, I noticed you made a strong effort. Here, you're going to say, overall, to improve your model, you might consider. Now, I have some students who sometimes they ask if they can skip the top part where they're showing praise or giving praise to their classmate. And what I tell them is to really focus on the positivity sandwich. You might notice your teachers do this, where when your teachers are giving you criticism, they might start with a compliment or talk about something that you did well. Then they'll go into constructive criticism or ways you might improve, and then they'll end with a compliment. And you kind of want to follow the same process here, where you start right here with a compliment, talking about a place that your partner did a really good job in, then going to here, talking about places they might improve in, and then when you're going into grading, With grading, usually what I have students do is highlight where their partner scored. So if they did a good job, exceeds or meets expectations, you can click the highlighter and highlight that. And you can highlight where they scored on each part of the rubric. And then with final comments, this is where I usually encourage students to complete that positivity sandwich, talk about ways that they're doing a good job or ways where they're very close to getting that best grade possible, just as a way to end on a positive note. But definitely through that, you're definitely still covering up here with the rubric and with ways they might improve, ways that your partner can get the best score possible. Because ultimately, that's the goal with all of this. You just want to help your partner succeed, and in return, hopefully, your partner can provide that same kind of feedback for you to help you succeed.